Hello everyone, welcome to Royal Online Tutorials, the online education channel. Today in our video we are going to discuss the errors in the performance appraisal process. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Almost all raters make rating errors. So we know that the rating errors reflect the differences between human judgment processes versus objective. And then the rating errors occur because the raters must always make subjective judgments. So here, the human resource department can help the raters in order to minimize the errors by choosing the rating system, also by recognizing and avoiding the common errors. So today in our video we are going to discuss the different types of rater errors. We are going to start with the bias errors. It happens when the rater evaluates the employees based on a personal negative or positive opinion of the employee, rather than on the employee's actual performance. So here we can see several ways the supervisors may bias evaluation results. I will start with the first one, the first impression effect, which might make an initial favorable or unfavorable judgment about an employee, and then ignore or distort the employee's actual performance based on the impression. What does that mean? For example, the manager expects that a newly hired graduate will be an exemplary performer. But after 1 year on the job, if this employee fails to meet many of the work objectives, and then the manager is going to rate the job performance more highly because of the initial impression. So, because he saw this person as an outstanding employee, so at the same time, if he made like an error or if he didn't meet the work objectives, he still rely on the first impression, and he will be rating the job performance more highly because of the initial impression. Finally, to move to the positive or negative halo effect, which occurs when the rater generalizes an employee's good or bad behavior on one aspect of the job to all aspects of the job. Let's take an example about a secretary with offensive interpersonal skills. She is a proficient user of various computer software programs and an outstanding typist. But one time she will receive a complaint from other employees and customers. Then directly here the supervisor is going to give her an overall negative performing rating because she received a complaint, and the opposite is true. If she's going to receive a compliment from other employees and customers, and then the supervisor is going to give her an overall positive performance rating. So here we will distinguish between the positive and negative halo effect. And the last one in the bias errors, which is a similar to me effect, which refers to the tendency on the part of raters to judge favorably employees whom they perceive as similar to themselves. So now, if you are looking like the supervisor, that's mean he's going to evaluate you in a positive way, because the supervisor biased by this effect will be rating the employees in a better way, especially the employees who have attitudes, values, background, or interests similar to the supervisor. And here we can take also an example like the employees whose children attend the same elementary school as their managers' children. may be receiving higher performance appraisal ratings than do employees who do not have children. This may lead to charges of illegal discriminatory bias, wherein the supervisor will be rating members of his or her race, gender, nationality, or religion more favorably than members of other classes. If I need to move to another error, which is the contrast errors, here the supervisors make contrast errors when they compare an employee with other employees rather than rating and evaluating the specific performance standard. We do have also the errors of central tendency. Here the supervisors rate all the employees as average or close to average. And that is not good because we will not be able to know the real level of the employees, how much they are performing. Because if someone is performing like a little bit more than the average, we will consider him as average. And if another one is doing like less than average, we will tell him like you are close to average. So all the employees are going to be rated as average. So we are not going to know who's the bad one from who's the good one. And finally, the errors of leniency or strictness. So here the raters place every employee at the high or low end of the scale, regardless of the actual performance. If I need to start with the leniency error, here the managers tend to appraise the employee's performance more highly than they really rate compared with certain objective criteria. And then we will say here that the manager is being nice with the employee. He is giving the employee more than he deserves. And then he is rating and appraising the employees more highly than they deserve. On the other hand, if we are going to talk about the strictness error, it occurs when the supervisor rates the employee's performance lower than it would be if compared against any objective criteria. And here the opposite is true. So here, in this case, we are more strict, tough. So if the supervisors make this error over time, the employees may receive smaller pay raise. So here, as we saw in the leniency errors, that the supervisor will be like a kind of nice to the employee. He will rate him more than he deserves. And the strictness errors, he will be very tough and strict. That means he's going to rate him less than he deserves or extremely the same. So he's not flexible. Here, suppose that the supervisor is rating like the employees less than he deserves. And here in this case, the employees is going to think about the raise. So here he's going to receive a smaller pay raise. And then this may lower the efforts of the employees, and then they will be performing poorly. So we should take this into consideration in order to motivate the employees and in order to always push them to do their best, because such error may affect on the overall organizational performance. Thank you for watching my channel.